So, if your pigs are fighting too much, as you can see, I'm dirty. I've been doing some things on the farm today, so I'm kind of dirty. So, what to do when your pigs are fighting too much? If your pigs are fighting too much, what you simply do is separate them. Now, there are some people who will be like, these pigs have been together for some months. They have been living peacefully together for some months. Then all of a sudden they start to fight. Then what can be the solution to this? If the pigs you kept together for a certain time and they have been living peacefully together, they start fighting. There are three major causes of this. Either one, their space is now too small for them, the food is now too small, or that the water is now or that a new pig entered into that place. These are the three things that can make pigs to start fighting each other. Either the space is too small for them, the feed and the water is becoming too small, because the smaller the feed, the more competitive they become. And these animals, they believe in the strongest will dominate the weakest. So they will fight for them to know who is the strongest among them, to know the hierarchy of food and water consumption in that pen or in that farm. So, or that a new pig entered into that place. If you put a new pig, if you've been a pig farmer for some time, you must have noticed that if you put a new pig into a pen where there are pigs there already, first thing that will happen is that they will start chasing that new pig, or start trying to bite him, or start trying to fight with him or her. This is because there is already an existing hierarchy in that pen. So now, if you bring a new pig into that pen, it's going to bring about a destruction in that hierarchy. So they have to start fighting again, so that new one will know who is the boss in that pen and respect itself, and know when to be in line to eat and when not to be in line not to not eat. Because pigs, once we bring food, there's always the first pig that will go there and put them out before others will follow. That is an established hierarchy. Now, if your pigs are always fighting, you try to find out if you put a new pig there. If you put a new pig there, then it's advisable you separate them. You separate them, especially if it's a very small pig that you put in a pen full of big pigs. You might come back the next morning and that pig is dead. Why? Because the bigger ones have fought it to death. Because these animals don't do fights to the ground. Their own is fights till you which word will I use? Till you surrender. And at times, these animals don't know what is surrender. So they could fight to their own death, which is your own losses in terms of money and profit. So if your pigs are fighting, also, apart from checking if you introduce a new pig there, also check if the space is becoming too small for them. Even you as a human being, if you are confined in a very small space with many people, you will be uncomfortable. You will start antagonizing. And before you know it, you start fighting. That is also the same thing with pigs. Pigs they don't have sweat pores. So they like to be in very cool environments. They like to be in an environment where it will be free for them to walk around, to also, just to have space. Another cause could also be that the water and feed is becoming too small. And one thing about this aspect of this pig fighting is that once the water and feed is becoming too small, some of those pigs, the weakest ones, the last ones on the hierarchy, will start getting lean and slim. Why? Because the big ones, or the ones at the top of the hierarchy, have to eat first. Probably before they finish eating, the smaller ones, probably before the bigger ones finish eating, the food or the feed must have finished. And the ones on the lower part of the hierarchy will go hungry. And you, as a farmer, you would think that, okay, you have given them feed, but you don't know that feed hasn't gone around, because some of them are not able to eat. So that is what you consider in all these things. So these are like the three causes of... My friend is greeting you guys. I don't know if I can zoom this thing. So that is basically it. Always check for these three things before you know what to do, so as to know what exactly is causing the fight in your pig pen. Because once you know what is causing the fight, you know how to remedy it. But the first thing is, once you see that your pigs are fighting too much, like pig fighting is very normal. If you introduce new pigs together, they will fight to establish hierarchy. But if you see that a pig is becoming too weak from fighting, just separate it from the pen, so as to not allow it to die. Because if these pigs keep fighting, you could eventually lose one of them, which will also negatively affect your profits. So that's basically it, guys. Message me on WhatsApp if you have any question. The number I usually leave in the description is for messages only, not for calls. So message me only. Drop WhatsApp messages only. And if you're starting a new pig farm, or if you're already in the farming venture, I would advise you get the ebook on pig farming. It will help you, to guide you, and to also educate you, because all we do here is knowledge based. If you don't know what you're doing, you are bound to run into problems. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you, and see you people in the next video.